Welcome. We're in my shop today, and what we're going to go over real quickly is how to make a quick and inexpensive fire starter. So what I did was I got a little vessel to mix with. This is an old coffee can. Some broken popsicle sticks, one for mixing, and an option too could be clothespins or small sticks and all that. Some shredded cotton and some synthetic gauze that you can get out of your first aid kit. And back here I have some little pieces of wax that I did go ahead and crumble up. And then a storage container when needed. So it's rather simple. You just take a little bit of the wax, throw it in there, and take some of your cotton and kind of shred it up, throw it in there. And once we have that done, we're going to take some Vaseline, or you can even use triple antibiotic ointment. In a survival situation, I would try to stay away from this, but it can be done with that. And of course, we have some really cold Vaseline that we're going to try to squeeze out of this tube. And there we go. And get a healthy, decent amount that you can soak into all the fibers of this cotton. I might even have to try to warm this up a little bit. But now I'm going to take all these pieces and try to get them as wet as I can and to stick to the wax that's in there. Just kind of move it around, and if you have to, use your fingers. And of course you make this big goopy blob, which probably could use a little bit more Vaseline. Now, for fire starting in a tent stove, you can do this. It does not leave much residue in the stovepipe. And of course, you're not using a large amount of it. So it's just to quickly get a fire started and to have a prolonged heat source to get your kindling, especially if it's wet, to go. All right, so now we have this, now we have this big blob. And let me get it out here. We have this big blob, and what we're going to do now, and the easiest way to do it, now some folks can use brown wrapping paper, other folks use just pieces of cellophane. I like to save these little bags, little Ziploc bags that parts come in. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about half of this, because I don't need all of this. And I'll separate that, maybe a little bit more. All right, and get it up into a ball. Put it into the Ziploc bag. Now I'm going to take a couple of popsicle sticks. I'll put them in there. That's just for extra added insurance. And then I'll just kind of flatten it out. Zip out all the air. Now this is an old bag, of course, so it's got some holes in it, but it'll do the trick for this purpose. Okay. And then if you want, some folks will tape this all down, but pretty much this is a quick and easy fire starter. There you have it. And the other one, of course, I'll put into even a longer bag with maybe some longer pieces of wood. Doesn't matter where your little sticks go, as long as it's somewhere in close proximity to your cotton ball. You can use dryer lint. You can use a piece of cloth. You can use paracord. That, of course, is nylon, so you do have to deal with the residue from that and the smoke. These do stink a little bit when they start, but they're not too bad, and they'll burn for quite a while. And here in a moment, I'm going to showcase another stove that was handmade, and we'll try to get it started with just using this. Okay, and we'll be back at you shortly. There we go, that's better. All right, so this is a tent stove that a friend Adam and I made together. This is, as you can tell, a computer case. It's actually a server tower. Um, so we turn that into a tent stove. So we're going to try our Firestarter and see how it goes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this in here, right amongst the kindling. And now we'll see if my torch lights. And we're just going to light a corner of it. And there you have it. Now, this will burn for a good 5-10 minutes, depending upon what you use inside it. With some of the hardwood or fat wood, of course, you wouldn't need this. But in a pinch, this is great for when you have damp wood or wood that's a little bit green and still need to get a fire. And as you can tell, it's still burning. And like I said, it'll burn for quite a while. And there you go. We'll let that burn for a minute and we'll get right back. You can see it's just a basic computer case that we screwed shut. Put some high temperature sealant in there, made for wood stoves. We put some covers over some of the knobs or latches, and then put a 90-degree turn coming right out the back into your flue, which we have set up, and then going up into the roof. Now, I don't know if you can see it in there, but the fire starter is still burning. It's still burning very, very hot. And of course, as that Vaseline burns, it becomes a liquid, and it'll start dripping down into the rest of the wood that's in there. And of course, you could see some paper that's down in there as well. And it looks like it's getting ready to start cooking really well. All right, now we've been cooking wide open for a good hour now. I've got no heat. This is still ice cold. No heat radiating to the wall. But like I said, if I was going to do this long term, I would definitely put a heat blanket or a fire blanket up there, which I have plenty of. But for now, what we're doing, this is fine. And one thing that I did fail to mention was that there is no grate in the bottom of this. So what I did was I took a bread pan and I just drilled a bunch of 1/4-inch holes in it and set that in the bottom. So that'll raise the wood up off the bottom so it's not burning directly. And also bring the heat closer to the top. Now, of course, this thing is definitely getting nice and hot. You can definitely cook off of it. And of course, with the amount of surface that you have up there, you could probably put a frying pan and a coffee pot up there or a kettle of water. I think the total cost of building this was under $30 or $40. We got the case at an old scrapyard. The hinges came off of old parts. So the big investment was the self-tapping screws, the sealant, and of course the elbow pipe and the flue.